Sylfia. She's so much more than just a boat. She's a home, one that we've made a family in. She's been so good to us, taking us to far-off lands to help us tell our stories. But I'm not so sure we've been that good to her. She needs a lot of love and attention, and that's exactly what we intend on doing. For the next 2 episodes, we will be showing us hauling her out for the very first time, giving her a fresh coat of paint, and we apply some sparkly new Copper Coat anti-foul. This is the story of a sailboat named Sylfia and the ragtag crew that call her home. Join us each week as we explore the planet both above and below the surface, and see what it's really like to live a life at sea. This is Expedition Drenched. It is a beautiful morning and we are about to haul the boat out of the water. This is my first time hauling Sylfia out of the water. I'm pretty excited about it actually. I'm so excited that for the next 4 to 6 weeks I'm going to be doing so much work, manual labor, sanding the hull, new bottom paint, new anti-foul. Yeah, that's what I'm excited about. No, but it's the first time, so I'm excited to see how it goes because yeah, it's Sylfia. She's a big boat. She's deceivingly big, in fact. We are 50 tons. We're 23 meters in length, or 75 feet, 3 meters in depth, or 9 feet. So there's not a lot of places that have the facilities that can haul us out. But Darwin is a huge fishing port, and there's this place called Northern Territory Marine Facilities, and they have a huge lift that can haul us out. So, with that said, lots to get ready, lots to do. We're gonna go in to the lift. They're gonna put a strap underneath each side of the keel, and they're just gonna lift us straight up out of the water. Then, from there, it's time to get to work for the next 4 to 6 weeks, non-stop.
Called a travel lift, and so it has like 2 slings that come underneath the boat and it lifts it right up out of the water. So that one is a pretty darn big one, so it'll handle Sylfia well. This is actually my first job. I didn't do the travel lift, but I was like the dock hand that helped the boat get into the travel lift. That was my first job when I was like 17, so it brings back memories.
You're a pro then?
I'm a pro, I've done this.
We just turned the boat around because it's lower at the back than the front, and it was a little fouled up on the cross beam up on the travel lift, so we'll just turn it around, bring it in backwards.
So we'll do round 2 and hopefully it works this time.
Can only hope.
Sylfia's turning back around. What's the new approach to getting her in?
If you can come alongside, we'll throw some ropes to her and then pull the nose out with a little boat, and then we'll just pull her in to the slot.
Okay,
just
and she
like
didn't fit in before?
It was just too tear. The head sail was hitting on the cross beam.
That's a big boat. I got it done. I did so good the first time, they made me do it 3 times and backwards. That's why I like to sail myself anyway.
That's a dirty butt.
That's a dirty butt. And touch it.
Who let that butt get so dirty?
Got Sylfia on the blocks now, and it is time to get to work. It's pretty expensive being on the hard, honestly. So when you get on the hard, it's like a mad dash to get as much as you can done as quickly as you can. And there's lots of jobs that we can do in the water, and there's lots of jobs that we cannot. So our main jobs that we need to do while it's out of the water include the following. We need to completely sand, probably sandblast the entire hull, and then repaint her. And we need to do new anti-foul. We're going to be using what's called copper coat, which is a bright, shiny copper anti-foul. So it's going to look like a Duracell battery. It's going to be black with a copper bottom. I think it's going to look pretty sexy. If you're not sure what anti-foul is what you put on the bottom of your boat that stops things from growing on it. You don't want little barnacles and things to grow on your boat because one, it creates drag, which will slow down your boat, and also it creates, it'll just slowly eat away at your hull. So it's important that you have a good anti-foul. Usually those are super toxic, but the one we're using is supposed to be very eco-friendly. These right here, these are called anodes, and what these are is on a steel boat, you actually weld new anodes on, and that is what gets attacked first. So it really helps it so you don't start rusting, and you need to switch those out every 1.5 to 2 years. And it's good to actually redo your anti-foul every 2 years. But this copper coat product is supposed to last you upwards of 10 years. So if that's the truth, that'll actually, even though it's expensive, it'll save us a lot of money in the long run. So there's the jobs, lots to do. Let's get at it. All right, we are getting Sylfia strapped in, getting her little seatbelt on because she is about to go for a ride. We're gonna take her over to the blasting shed, and there we're gonna get Sylfia sandblasted. So everything below the water line is gonna get sandblasted down to the steel, and everything above the water line is just gonna get spot sandblasted. So, on the rust spots.
Go ahead and start sandblasting. We just put her into the blast bay here, and these fellas just finally blocking it up, and then yeah, Shane will rip all the paint off. That's what he does.
So we're in the blast shed now, and this is where they do sandblasting. So this is like garnet colored sand, and it's just peeling right off, which is good. So this is the steel underneath, right? And this is one of those anodes I was talking about earlier. This is the steel underneath. He's already attacked a big portion of it. This is about 2 hours of sandblasting, right? But that same area would have taken us a day to do. So they guys are on top of it, moving fast now. Here he comes, bringing in some more sand. And these guys work so fast, so well, that look at this. So what we've got going on here is you got the guy sandblasting, and he's taking it right down to the steel. And then right behind him, you've got a guy putting on this is actually primer. So we're putting on a 2-pack of primer. What that does is it stops it from oxidizing and getting weathered and everything else in between. So it's important that you're doing that extremely fast right after the sandblasting happens. And I'm just learning this along with you. I'm not just like, this is what I'm being told, and I have no ego about it, and so I listen to people. And so I'm just trying to do this right. Because again, this is my first haul out with Sylfia, and I'm learning a lot. And so it's really coming together really fast though. And it's just very cool. There she is, getting the black paint on. Today we are going to be showing you all the steps that it takes to apply our brand new copper coat anti-foul. So we're going to show you all the steps from beginning to end, and also talk about why we've chosen copper coat to be our anti-foul. And for today we're just kind of doing some prep. So what we're doing is we are sanding the entire underneath the water line. We're sanding where we've already done a 2-pack epoxy. And why that is because we're trying to key it, giving a little bit of texture so that the copper coat, which is very thin, has something to grasp onto and stick to. Our goal is to put as many layers of copper coat as we can. But today we're sanding the entire thing, and then we're going to go through and we're going to power wash it, and we're going to keep wiping it until it's completely dry and doesn't have any dust or particles in it. That way we know we have a clean surface to work with. So that said, let's get to work. Let's get dusty. And now we get the ShamWow out, and we wax on, and we wax off. Let's see your wax on, wax off. Ready? Yeah. Wax on, wax off. Now more wax on, wax off. So today's the big day. We're going to be applying our copper coat anti-foul. So pretty excited about it. It is a pretty precise process. So what we're going to be doing is we need to put the resin and the hardener together, and then we're going to be mixing in a little bit of isopropanol to thin it, which we're going to be adding 5% here because we're actually in Darwin, Australia. And then you slowly mix in actual copper flakes, and then you just try to keep those copper flakes suspended in it so it's like not sinking to the bottom. And then it's kind of a race against time where you're just rolling it on as quickly and smoothly as you can, just doing coat after coat after coat, very thin coats. It's going on very patchy, very thin, but it actually turns like super copper right away. So it goes on a little bit pink, and then the moment it kind of starts drying, you see that copper color.
So with a copper coat, it's very important to always consistently stir, because the copper is actually just suspended in the epoxy, so after a while it does settle down to the bottom. So it's really every so often as you can, just give it a good stir. And even in the paint trays too, if you leave it sitting for a couple minutes, the copper will kind of come out of the solution and then set on the bottom. So yeah, get a paint stick.
We're doing the second coat now, and you can really see that it's starting to fill in. It's not looking so patchy, and slowly taking form. So again, I just think it's a game of many, many, many thin coats. And so, but it's starting to look beautiful. How'd it go, Matt? Mr. Paint Man extraordinaire.
It was brutal. It was brutal, but we got it done. It was basically, how long? What time is it now? Sunset? And then we started actually physically painting at maybe 9?
10
and
hours.
Then, yeah, 10 hours with 3 people.
Four
people.
sometimes.
4 people sometimes. But yeah, no, it was brutal. Just the Darwin heat, and then you have to do the 6 coats, but hopefully this is the last time we have to do this for
10 years.
10 years. Yeah. So
there it is. There it is.
that's that.
How did you think it go?
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, we tagged Jaime in the last moment. Thanks for coming to save the day, helping us.
Why'd I have to pick the big boat, right? That's what took so long. But I think it was like, it wasn't like the most...
It wasn't impossible, it was a lot.
Time consuming.
Yeah.
Time consuming. It's an art. And anyhow.
We had good rhythm though.
Yeah, I think we had a good team, and I'm glad we got it done. We'll give updates to see like how it actually does as far as like, you know, keeping growth off our hull. So we'll kind of give updates along the way and see how we like the copper coat. I think it's beautiful. I think she turned out nice. She's got like that Duracell battery look to her, and yeah, I think she's dead sexy. So on that, of all the jobs I was a little bit stressed about, just because it is meticulous. You have to do it right. If you mess it up, it cannot go well for you. So I think I feel relieved and exhausted all at the same time. So, that said, we're gonna clean up, and it's well after beer 30, so we have to go.
Let's get a beer.
Yep. Bye. Today we're gonna be working on what's called a bootstrap, which is like a line right above our hull line. And we're doing that because now we have 2 different colors on the hull. We want it to look good. So got my mask ready. I feel like I'm looking extra Australian today. Got my hat looking all fluffy fro like, working hard in the boat yard. This is my boat yard look. I hope you like it. Torv's gonna help mix up some paint here.
Let's prepare a little bit of paint, white paint to do. They already did the tapes all around the boat, the hull, and we need just a little bit of paint, white paint, and it's gonna look beautiful.
What this is called a bootstrap, and a bootstrap is because now we have a different color hull to so we have the black on top and then the copper below, and it just kind of like breaks it up and looks good. So it's actually just done for aesthetics, a bit artsy, so that's a good sign when you know that we're getting onto stuff that just looks good instead of stuff that's neat, you know what I mean? So we're on good pace to get back in the water, probably in about a week, just maybe a little over a week. So I'm pretty happy, I'm pretty stoked. My favorite thing about all this job is driving this thing. And I've been having too much fun just driving around like an asshole. Here we go. Woo. On the scissor lift! Scissor lift! I'm peeling off the tape, revealing our racing stripe. What do you think? Pretty dead sexy, huh? Next time on Expedition Drenched, we poke a couple holes in the boat and we get ready for the next adventure with a brand new crew of fresh faces.
Man, is it me or does Sylfia kind of have a fat ass? She got a fat ass. She's thick.
Big and sexy.
Changing of the course. Look like a man like going through the desert.
Oh man, it's so hot.
Wax on, wax off. No more wax on, wax off. Here's to the boat going back in the water.